Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Playlisted podcast. Appreciate y'all for coming out. It's going to be a great night. We have 6 artists tonight, so jam-packed. We do ask that y'all be a little bit quiet during the talking and everything. This is being recorded. It is a podcast. Do not be quiet when artists are done performing because that's awkward. So y'all make sure to make a lot of noise for everybody. We appreciate that. With that being said, introducing your host of the podcast, Austin Burke.
How we doing? Oh my goodness, you're in for a treat tonight. I have somebody that I respect more than anybody in this town. You'll get to hear the stories, but he has heard more music in this town than Jesus Christ himself. He has made more things happen for people in this town than just about anybody can claim. I had to take notes, it's so ridiculous. He's responsible for the success of Florida Georgia Line, Old Dominion, Kelsea Ballerini, Chace Rice, Russell Dickerson, and so many independent artists and artists that are not even on that list. Give it up for one of my best friends in Nashville, John Marks. How you feeling?
I'll pay you in my Visa gift card later. Thank you very much.
All right, Universal Records, take it easy. This guy right here is the reason this playlisted podcast even exists. I was working at a place called The Palm, which you frequented.
I did.
I was a food runner.
Second address.
I was a food runner. I was not even a bartender. I wasn't even a server. I was down the totem pole. And you gave me respect, and you always treated me like you shouldn't have. And one day I said, hey, it was about 3 or 4 years in at the Palm, and I knew that you had worked for SiriusXM for many years, and you were just transitioning. You had just gotten a job with Spotify, but I didn't really know what you did. And
neither did I.
And I said, hey, John, I want to show you a song of mine. And he listened to it. He came back the next day, and he said, well, I put it on my playlist. And I was like, you put it on your playlist? Cool, man. Like when you're running or at the gym, or what are you talking about? He put my song as a food runner at the Palm on the biggest playlist in the world, Hot Country, and changed my life like that. And so I love you forever. He did it. I gave him another song. He said, boom, put that one on too. And within 2 weeks, I was bringing lobster out to a guy, and he said, are you Austin Burke? And I said, I am. And he goes, can I take a picture with you? And I said, can I put your lobster down? took my apron off, unbuttoned my shirt, and never put my apron back on. And because of that moment, you changed my life. And this podcast, Playlisted, is named after you for what you did for me. You put my song on your playlist, and I hope to put all these artists on my playlist and change their life the way you did for me. So I love you, brother.
I love you. Thank you. Whew. Thank you.
It's a big deal to have this guy. It's a big deal. So I want to ask you a quick question. So you obviously started out at SiriusXM, and then you got a job. I remember you telling me you're a little nervous about it. It's a tech company. I'm not really sure what to think. And there were 2 employees. You were one of 2 employees
in Nashville.
Tell me about that experience.
Well, worked at SiriusXM for 7 years, something like that, and was their head of country, and went to Spotify thereafter. I left SiriusXM, and I get this cryptic call from a good friend of mine saying, hey, there's somebody who wants to talk to you in New York. And I took the call, and it was about this company called Spotify. And I had a conversation with them. It was like I'm not quite sure what to make of it. Actually, it's we have playlists, and we need people to put songs on the playlists and curate the playlists. And we like what you've been doing at SiriusXM, and wanted to talk to you about it. And And so since I was not at Sirius XM anymore, I said, sure, sounds like a plan to me. And it was nice because it wasn't limited to one playlist. Hot Country was the flagship playlist, but there were so many other playlists with lifestyle and mood, and it was really a fun challenge in finding the different types, styles, and varieties of country music to fit into those different playlists, and I really loved it. And that was, I came in during a time when Spotify was new, certainly in Nashville, and not really well regarded. And so, but over time, as we, built credibility and built our presence and all of that, that eased away, and people started understanding that not only with Spotify but the other digital platforms as well, that they're viable as music discovery tools as well as radio and the other methods that were out there at the time. And I was there for 6 years and loved every second of it. It was a fantastic time and stay.
Well, it's funny. I took the song that you put on that playlist, "Whole Lot in Love." I took that song to radio, and a company gave me some money. We went to every radio station in America and tried to get the song to chart and bring it up the charts and try to get it to number one. And I remember this was 2018, so this is really how fast the progression of Spotify and music has changed in the last few years. It was 2018. I was in, I want to say I was in Fort Campbell, Indiana. Is that right? No, Fort.
Kentucky.
Maybe. I don't know. It's some fort. Tiny little town, shitty little radio station. And I walk in, and the guy, literally, he looks at me and he goes, "What do you want?" And I go, "I had just driven 4 hours to go play this song for him." And he goes, "What do you want?" And I said, "I want to play my song for you." And he said, "Well, you're a Spotify artist. That's not going to do any good for me." And I said, holy shit. It was that moment that I realized Spotify and streaming had not caught up with radio. And so I was in this weird space where I was really cool on Spotify and Apple and all these streaming sites, but radio could give a shit about me. And now they're using Spotify and all these things to actually curate their own playlists.
A lot of the radio programmers back in the day would say, well, Austin's got 2.5 million plays on that song or whatever it was. And they say, oh, those are game, those are manufactured, those aren't real. And I said, the only way they can appear there is if somebody plays the song on their device. And that was just something they couldn't quite get their arms wrapped around. And but you're right. After a while, the next thing, the first thing they were asking was, how many plays do you have on Spotify? So it was a good, interesting turnaround. That's
what's
for sure.
crazy too is I remember back in the day I was working with a guy that wrote the song "Wild One" by Faith Hill, and he told me every year he gets a teacher's salary from that song because of the way that it plays on the radio. They have the oldies or whatever, and so what I haven't told you this, but not a lot of people know this, because of the playlisting that I had that was organic, that was from real fans, I now make a teacher salary off of Whole Lot in Love to this day.
Wow.
Because of the continued plays of that song. It's pretty crazy. So I don't think people realize the power and
Hats off to
the
you.
realness of the playlist,
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I mean, I wish there were more stories like that I could hear.
Yeah.
But it's really great that and I will say, we caught it early together on that song.
Mm-hmm.
It was before Spotify had a lot of its structure that it has today, and so it was good that you caught it early and that it continues to pay for you. I think
we
that's
got a new playlist that people are going to be catching on to. It's called the A List, and I know some people tonight are going to make the A List. Nobody's heard more songs in town than you, so I'm excited for these artists to play their songs for you and get real, honest feedback. That's one thing that nobody can ever take away from you, that every person I talk to in this town has to say, John Marks always spoke his mind. So let's hear it for our first guest tonight, Miss Morgan Greenley, singing her song, "I Left My Home." She's actually doing her song West
Change.
Texas Tornado, and that's my fault because you told me
you're
that.
so good. We decided to do this song because it comes out actually on Friday. Yep. So I'm like, it has to be done. It has to be done. And thank you so much to Patrick. This is our first time ever meeting. My guitar player actually got sick tonight, so I know he's going to kill it. Thank you so much for being here, Patrick. Y'all ready? He's like a West Texas tornado coming into Harris County in the middle of May. Summer shining through the window. Now the clouds are rolling in and it's all turning gray. And he came without a warning. Yeah, he came without a warning. Touchdown, this house is falling apart. Rip the roof and the walls right out of my heart. Let go of the damage you wrecked from the start. Ain't no shelter that can keep me from falling apart. Yeah, I'm falling apart. They always say what comes around goes right back around. Ain't no sense of rebuilding what we had right now. Hear the sirens in the distance as the rain's pouring down. Yeah, it's coming down. Touchdown, this house is falling apart. Rip the roof and the walls right out of my heart. Letting go of the damage you wrecked from the start. Ain't no shelter that can keep me from falling apart. Yeah, I'm falling apart. Looking at the pieces scattered all over the ground. There ain't nothing left of you and I in this town. Touchdown, this house is falling apart. Rip the roof and the walls right out of my heart. Letting go of the damage you wrecked from the start. Ain't no shelter that can keep me from falling apart. Yeah, I'm falling apart. Ooh, yeah. Thank you.
Morgan Greenley. Wow.
Hey,
Thank you
Oh
so
my
much. I've been
goodness.
sick, everybody, so this is like my second day. I have my voice
Hey,
back.
you sound
Praise
great.
Jesus.
You sound great.
sounded good.
Wow. That was awesome. And that comes
Thank
out on
you.
Friday?
Comes out on Friday. Y'all
Very
better check it
cool.
out.
Very cool.
Appreciate it.
I really liked all the tornado references you had throughout the verses and the chorus, and you have a super strong voice. And
Appreciate it.
yeah, super catchy.
Thank
What's
you.
what's the inspiration for that song right there?
So actually, I think you said Fort Campbell earlier. I actually was drilling down there. I'm the reserves, drill sergeant with the reserves. And I actually was there, yes, sir, for the tornado that hit in 2023. And so I was up there, and we had to hunker down and all that stuff. So I was in my first tornado ever. And then I actually helped out do some traffic stuff and stuff like that. Was driving back to Nashville and drove right into the one that we had here in Nashville. Oh, wow. So I'm like, okay, 2 tornadoes. What's going on, Jesus? But actually, I started thinking about it, and I'm like, in a sense of a guy, you know, like some guys, they don't care who they're hurting, what kind of destruction they make in the path of, you know, a tornado. So I'm like, that'd be cool to have like a little kick-ass rock song.
I love that.
Thank you.
I'm excited to hear the full production too.
Right.
And by the way, what was your guitar player's name?
Patrick.
Patrick.
Thank you
Shout
so
out
much,
to Patrick, filling in last minute
Literally,
today.
we ran through that song once.
That's
Crushed
the
it.
coolest
So
thing
thank you
about
so much.
Nashville. Seriously, that's the coolest
Yes.
thing about Nashville. When somebody bails, there's always somebody that's like, you know, hey, I got a reference. I got
Yes.
somebody that can maybe do it. So thank you, Patrick,
goodness.
for making
Thank
that
you
happen,
so
brother.
much.
That's impressive.
My
Super
lifesaver.
impressive. Man, What do you think, John? What do you think?
Well, thank you for not writing the same song for the 185,000th time.
You know, that is my goal. That is my goal.
And I like the lyrics, and it's a memorable hook, even though it's not the snappy, clicky hooks that you hear in many of today's songs.
Well,
but it's memorable, and I like the emotion that's in your voice.
I appreciate that very
Yeah,
much.
I think the main thing is you have a story. Have you been promoting it yet on TikTok and all that stuff?
I have been.
Okay.
I have been slowly but surely.
Yeah, I mean, I would encourage you to share your story. I mean, I know you were in the military. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So longest story short, 4 years active duty. It was. Thank you so much. Absolutely, probably right behind music. Something that I absolutely love to do, and I'm having a hard time actually deciding if I want to continue or not. But so I got off active duty, and I still wanted to be in a little bit. And I always wanted to be a drill sergeant. I love inspiring people, and so I became a drill sergeant for the reserves. So I do that part time, and man, like I went down on the trail for basic training, and it was the best 2 weeks of my life. Like, I literally, people who know me, they know I cried the next 2 days when I left those kids, just because of how much, like, you train a soldier from day zero, you know, and you get to know them, and you get to hear their stories about their lives. And not everybody who joins the military, you know, like, comes from a great home with two parents. Like, a lot of times they have nowhere else to go, so they just join the military. So it was such a blessing and an honor to be able to be a drill sergeant just for a little bit of time.
That's incredible.
Where do I enlist?
When? Do you
When?
want me to yell at you, sir?
Absolutely.
I mean, you drop and give me 10. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We won't do that here.
So, okay, you always, you know, you've seen the movies. Explain to us sort of like in a nutshell what being a drill sergeant is like. And it's really cool to hear your perspective, because I've never heard a drill sergeant say that they're like my kids, because that means you care. And that's really, really special.
Probably too much. But I mean, it depends on the drill sergeant, I would say. But for me, even before I was a drill sergeant, as a young NCO, as just a non-commissioned officer, we're leaders. And so I always made it a point to take care of my kids. And my kids, I call them my kids, they knew if they needed something taken care of to come to Sergeant Greenley, Drill Sergeant Greenley, because they know that I care and that I want to hear what they're going through so I can help them. But I mean, so for me, I care a lot about my kids, so it's obviously you have to be a hard ass sometimes and discipline them, but it's that kind of flip of you can reel it back and be like, okay, take the hat off, take the rank off. How can I help you? Like, let me get to know you on a personal level. And I feel like we need more of that in the military, for sure. I'm
going to ask a question I don't feel like is asked enough, but what is it like being a woman in the military, and how has that experience kind of been for you? Because I've, you know, you hear horror stories, and I would love to kind of hear your perspective on that.
So, I'm a shithead. And so I actually took in a lot of my female soldiers, and I tried to train them up. But realistically thinking about it, when I enlisted, I did not realize, especially, I'm not saying I'm pretty, okay, y'all? But if you're a pretty girl in the military, they automatically, if you walk in a new unit, they automatically think, oh, she's just gonna, you know, come in here and flaunt her stuff. Me, I'm more of a dude than anything, so people catch that drift real quick. And they just know, like, I'm squared away. I mean, business, I'm professional. But it is hard because you have to prove yourself as a female. You know, you can't walk around and be like, oh, I'm hot shit. It's like you got to humble yourself. You got to, for me, I just blended in with the boys. Like, I didn't want any attention like that. So for me, like, I think it probably helped me now, especially coming in the music industry. It's very male dominant, but you know, that's something that I kind of take pride in, is I'm like, I have a little bit of a backbone, I feel like. Be like, no, I'm not going to be this pretty girl that you're making me to be, or whatever. I'm not saying I'm pretty, right? Okay, calm down. But, no, you know, so.
You know, it's, yeah, I mean, gosh, I feel like we could sit here and talk for like an
100%.
hour. So I'm going to say this. I would love to have you back, first
Thank
of all.
you,
Would love to have you back. 100% adding that song on Friday to the A-list playlist.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank y'all so much.
Yeah.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you for your service.
Thank
you for being an inspiration to so many people. I don't know if this is any indication of what you should choose, but I feel like you can do both, but I feel like you're an incredible artist, and you have a story to tell, and that's the biggest problem is there's so many good voices. There's so many talented people. You have a story to tell.
Right.
I want your story to be heard. So we're going to have you back, and I can't wait to add this to the playlist. Thank you so much for being on here.
Thank y'all so much.
Absolutely. Morgan Greenley, everybody. Wow.
Hey.
What a start to the show. Good Lord. That was awesome.
Fantastic.
What do you think?
I thought it was great. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to ask, but yeah, it's like, how long do you have to decide to re-up?
That's a good question. Yeah. I guess we'll ask her that next time. That's a good question. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
It's all right. No.
We have some people to get through here, but gosh, very talented. I mean, and that's, John, that's my question for you. Is there any common thread between successful artists that you have seen? Maybe a character trait, maybe a certain ability or a certain desire? Is there something that you can kind of point to that is a common thread between these people?
Work ethic. Simple as that. It's hard work. It's thankless work. It's never-ending work. You have to dedicate yourself fully to the proposition, and especially in the lane of the independent artists. You have a grouping of artists who really command the great majority of the space in the digital spaces these days. And the rest is kind of left over with for independent artists, and everybody's kind of, I won't say fighting over the same territory, but having to try and find their place inside that massive grouping of people who are trying to get noticed just like you. And really the thing that it comes down to is building your community, dedicating yourself to making as great music as you can, releasing as often as you can, marshaling the forces in your community with social media, and just staying with it. It's and really there's no substitute for that and that alone, because every once in a while something happens and something will blow up, come out of nowhere, but unfortunately that's not the rule. That's a very great exception, and if you love it that much, then you'll dedicate yourself to it and find a way to make it happen. And that's what I have found to be the bottom line. And even, and I'll say this is a qualitative thing, but it really, some of it doesn't really come down to talent. It's just about how dedicated and how much you put yourself into your art and the business of your art.
That's a great point. Do you want to grab the next artist? Don't say their name. We're going to hand it to Dean just so he can go grab them. But we got okay. He's gonna go grab them. Well, that's a big part of this whole thing too, John. Is I don't think a lot of artists think about the business. It is the music business. Two words, not one. A lot of people are super into the music part, and they're super good at the music part, and the business side sort of lacks. And then there's other people that come into this business because they want to be in the business and they don't have the music, and you really have to do both. It's such a balance. I mean, there's so many times where I'll be doing weeks of business shit, and then I'll say I have to write, I have to get back to the art, I have to, and I'll spend 2 weeks writing nonstop day after day, and it's this constant balance as an artist that you really have to juggle.
It is a juggling act, and in these days and times, many people don't have the opportunity to pursue what they're doing full time, so they either have jobs elsewhere or other gigs to supplement paying rent or whatever it is, and so that creates an additional, I'll say, complication or addition to the list of things that you have to do, and I've just found that a lot of people who are in the business try to find jobs where they can work around the gigs, work around their songwriting, and just to try and make the best that they can with what they have, and that's really the key elements is just making the most of what opportunities and what time that you have.
So well said. All right, Alex, you ready?
I'm ready, man.
We got Alex Graham. He was supposed to play last week, and texted me and said he woke up with a belly full of nails. So
pretty much
that
throat
doesn't-
full, but yeah.
Are you feeling better? Are you feeling better?
Oh yeah, man. I was down for the count for a week, but I'm
man.
I'm
Well,
back
we're
and
glad to
ready
have you,
roll.
man. Thanks for. Oh, we got some kind of feedback. Hold on a second. All right, I think we're good.
Yeah, dude.
All right, singing a song, rethinking my drinking. Give it up for Alex Graham.
Let's go. Pulled up about 9 o'clock with the girls in a boat of bars. And I'm trying hard not to get caught watching you pour that wine. I got a beer in my left hand and I'm sticking in 12-ounce cans. I feel like a brand new man looking at you tonight. You got me rethinking my drinking, trying to reach your kind of high. Make the best of what I got here. Trade that cold beer for your wine, yeah. Something about the way you move those hips got me craving what's on your lips. I can't shake this feeling. Got me rethinking my drinking tonight. Threw the can in the back of that truck, put some Moscato in a Dixie cup. As soon as I turned it up, I couldn't turn it down, and he turned my whole world around. Got me rethinking my drinking, trying to reach your kind of high. Make the best of what I got here. Trade that cold beer for your wine, yeah. Something about the way you move those hips got me craving what's on your lips. I can't shake this feeling. Got me rethinking my drinking tonight. Oh, tonight. That sundress on, that look in your eyes, that taste on your lips like grapes on a vine. Got me rethinking my drinking. Got me rethinking my drinking. Got me rethinking my drinking. Trying to reach your kind of high. Make the best of what I got here. Trade that cold beer for your wine. Something about the way you move those hips got me craving what's on your lips. I can't shake this feeling. Got me rethinking my drinking tonight. Oh, tonight. The sundress on, the look in your eyes, the taste on your lips like grapes on a vine. Thank you so much.
Alex Graham, everybody.
Thank you.
All right. Want to start us out? What are you thinking?
Well, you can never go wrong with a drinking song.
Amen to that.
That's kind of how I look at things. I think the song is really good. I wouldn't call it a standout, but I think it's a good lyric, a good progression of chords. The chord progression is a little familiar to me too, but I think overall it's a good song and a good start.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. What kind of rethinking my drinking? I mean, so many drinking songs in Nashville. What sort of inspired that one? Is there any sort of event or any kind of thing that?
Yeah, I'm usually, honestly, the kind of guy that writes sad cowboy songs. So the first 3 singles I put out were kind of heartbreak melodies, and my buddy was like, you should try to put out this drinking song. So I went to his house one day, and he had it half written. He's like, man, I'd love for you to finish this song with me. So we put this out, and we wrote it. I didn't really have it on my radar. And then I played Whiskey Jam a couple years ago, and they were like, yeah, you should probably cut that and see what happens. So I decided to record it. It's definitely out of my comfort zone, but yeah, man.
I think it's a good live song. I agree with John. I think even you, just what you told me, doesn't feel like you're fully like into it.
Yeah.
And you can kind of hear that when you're singing. I wrote some of the things I just remember, but you have hips and lips and sundress and drink. It's like I want to know who Alex is.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
where are you from? Like what's your story? Because I feel like you have by the way, incredible voice.
Thank you so much.
I
man.
just don't think I don't think that song, and I know I sound like a dick, but I just don't think that song is who you are.
No,
and I just want to hear.
Yeah.
I want to hear who you are.
Yeah, man. I was born and raised in North Carolina, and before I moved to Nashville, I went through a pretty rough breakup. And when I moved to town, I would just write heartbreak songs. And the first song I put out was actually kind of a love song. I wrote this song called "We Ain't Got to Do" with a couple of friends of mine. And the girl I wrote it about actually sang background vocals on it.
Oh, no.
So that's the most Nashville thing you've probably ever heard.
Oh no,
That is a country song, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's I kind of just put this song out to, everybody has to have.
Well, you need
fun
live
party
songs too, and
Yeah,
so I
exactly.
get it. Like in the big picture of an artist, I have songs that I put out that they're not filler songs,
Yeah.
but they're like you got to get the crowd drinking, you got to get them up.
Yeah,
You know what
for
I'm saying?
sure.
And so the
Yeah.
lyrics don't really need to be top tier, but I think I'm just saying this because I do the same thing myself.
Yeah.
I would fight for those top tier lyrics. I would
Yeah.
fight for those because you have a top tier voice,
Thank
and
you.
you deserve. Your voice deserves to sing those lyrics. So I would say, what John said, good song, but really, I want to hear the sad cowboy song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I really do. What do you think, John?
No, I think you stay in your brand, and I think I agree. I think that the song can serve many other purposes, just like you say, for a live song. And when you put music out, and that's kind of the odd thing about it today, is that you don't necessarily have to put out every song is a money song. You can put it out, hey, this is in my live set. Okay, I want to put it out so people can recognize it out of my live set. And so there are plenty of other reasons other than having a hit, which is a great reason.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's no problem with that. But I think that having songs like that out to kind of round out your catalog is always a good move.
100%. Spencer Crandall was on first episode, and he told me in private, not on the podcast, but he said try to put out 12 to 16 songs a year, which is crazy. That's a lot of songs, and so that's kind of where we're at right now. You got to just see what hits, what sticks, and I'll be honest with you. If I was at a dancing bar and heard that, that's a fucking smash. You know what I'm saying? So there is a time and place for that song, and I'm not trying to say this to discourage you. I think it needs to be in your set. You need to play it live. It's a really good song. I can't wait to hear the great song from you.
Appreciate it.
So
Man.
that's my advice.
It's a pleasure. Thank you
Thank you
very
so
much.
much, guys.
Alex, thanks for being
Thank
on
you.
here, man. Appreciate you. Man, this is really fun. This is so fun to have you.
I'm enjoying it.
It's
great.
There's so many songs you've heard. Is there any kind of, I know we talked about the artist, is there any kind of common thread in the song that makes it stand out to you? Because I want to just preface this for you people that don't maybe know who John Marks is. Every single person, I worked at the Palm, every single person that was there, the head of Universal, the head of Sony, the head of Warner, the head of every single publishing company, every indie label, had him there, was there for lunch, was there for dinner, was there for whatever, buying you drinks, doing whatever, just to hear the song. Just to hear the song. What makes the song great and not just average?
It's if I knew that all the way around, I'd probably be on a private island somewhere charging you $10,000. But I think the thing is, it's just something different. When I heard Florida Georgia Line and Cruise, that was a totally different take on a country song than was out at the time, and so it was like different. So it was like, I didn't say, oh, that's the best song of all time. It was like, oh, it's different. It stands out. It begins at the hook. It's worth a try. And I think that I just like to find songs that are just out of the ordinary, not out of the Nashville center lane of music, of which there are plenty of songs to do that, and find something that's unique and stands out in an affirmative way to further the format, further the genre, but also stretch it a little bit. And I think there's a reasonable amount of that going on right now, which is very encouraging.
I'm going to talk a little bit about Cruise because I've heard Tyler and BK both be on stage and thank you for changing their life. And I think you had a huge piece in that song and giving that song a shot. I know a lot of people didn't believe in that song. What would you say was the reason that... Explain the fun journey of that song and kind of how it got pitched to you and how it became what it is today.
It's crazy. In comes they're playing the bars in Florida Georgia Line, and they came in with their manager, their publicist.
Were they signed at the
and
time?
their producer? They were not signed. Okay. They came in with a self-pressed CD that had Cruise, Lemon Drop, the Lemon Drop songs. I can't remember all the other songs on it, but they were all on their first album. And we played all of those songs, and we were talking about which song is. Well, that's different, all right, and it was good. And I said, well, this Cruise song, it starts at the beginning, it gets real right to the point fast, and maybe that's one we ought to try and see what happens. And that was really it. There was no revelations in the meeting. I say, this is the best song that's ever been made. It was just like, hey, let's give it a try, see what happens. And we did, and it just took off immediately. And back in that moment in time, in the format, those who have been around may or may not recall that it was a very sleepy format. And nothing against Lady Antebellum or any of those artists who were making song at the time.
Talk that shit, John. Talk your shit. No, I'm just kidding.
But it was at a time when a lot of medium tempo pop crossover adult contemporary music was being made.
It was like
and played
Christian
on country. It was very sleepy, I'd have to say, and dull. And Florida Georgia Line with that song injected a bunch of energy into the genre with that one song. It changed the entire dynamic of songwriting and production in Nashville. Yeah. And it progressed. It's like it started with us on the highway. It progressed to other channels on the highway, and so it was funny because we were at a Gary Allan Throwdown concert. It was 105 degrees. It was thunderstorming and raining. Nobody was there. Florida Georgia Line was on stage. It was me and my wife out there for support, and then 7 A&R staffs. So it was all that was there. And there was a fight over who got Florida Georgia Line, and the Big Machine folks got them. And it set records for how much it was played and all of these things. And I went, Joey Moy, the producer. I went to a number one party, and we just shook our heads and say, "What the hell just happened here?" It's
Dean's on. He plays a lot on Broadway, and we were talking last week about the songs that are sort of like, "Oh shit, are they really requesting it?" Is that one of those songs? I would imagine it's up there.
It's not my least favorite. It's
requested a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's trailed off a little bit now. I feel like with so many songs popping off, but I've definitely played it about 9 million times at this point.
Is Wagon Wheel still a $100 song?
No, but Devil Went Down to Georgia and Freebird. That's the Freebird tax for Freebird guy.
10-4.
There's a story of a guy yelling Freebird, and then the band played it, and then he kept yelling it. Like, he didn't even know what Freebird was. He just knew the joke. So perks of the job on that side, yeah.
Well, I'm excited to have Miss Chelsea Rhodes up here. You ready to go?
Yes, sir.
All right. She's singing her song, Look at Her Go. Give it up for Chelsea Rhodes, everybody.
Keep telling myself it'll be okay. Need a saving grace.
keep going, even when it's hard. So I can the train and moving to a brand new start. Look at her go, look at her run. Look at that girl, she's relentless. She keeps her head high, even through all the pain. She can do anything. Look at her go. I've been drugged through hell and back again from the same damn things. Why do I put myself through all that pain? See, I've been here a time or two, been left broken and abused, so my heart can't take that anymore. But they tell me keep going, even when it's hard. So I can the train and moving to a brand new start. Look at her go, look at her run. Look at that girl, she's relentless. She keeps her head high, even through all the pain. She can do anything. Look at her go. She can be a force to be reckoned with, just like a hurricane. But she's gonna keep on standing strong, even through all the rain. Look at her go, look at her run. Look at that girl, she's relentless. She keeps her head high, even through all the pain. She can do anything. Look at her go. Look at her go. Look at her go. Thank y'all so much.
It's Chelsea Rhodes. Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. Honestly, probably one of the best voices we've ever had on this show.
Good pipes.
It's only
y'all.
3 weeks in, but god dang, you can sing.
Oh, thank you.
And you know what? I'm gonna give you a compliment that I had to write this down because this is the weirdest thing. You have something that I've never heard before. It is called smooth power. I was locked in. Your control of your voice, the runs you did. You are phenomenal. Seriously.
Thank you so much.
Wow. I'm
That
really
means the
impressed.
world coming from y'all.
No, I am so impressed right now. Golly.
I think you just said it all. I think the song is good, not great, but your vocalization of it plows through that and makes the song better with your vocals.
I actually did really like the song, though. I think I have 2 little sisters, and I think I would love for them to hear that. I feel it's an inspirational song.
Oh, 100%.
And what's the story behind it?
So over the past couple of years, I've kind of been through hell, as the song says, and just heartbreak, depression leads to financial decisions, all the things, and it really just kind of took me off my path of music for a little bit, and it took me about 2 years to get through the healing process of everything, and like she said earlier with the tornado song, it's crazy the amount of, guys, not saying there aren't girls out there that are like that either, but the destruction that they can leave in your path and the things that you have to do to kind of get over that and just the healing journey through all of it. So that was kind of like the inspiration behind it.
just kind of getting through all of it and
So
looking back at
that's
it.
funny you say that. Not funny. My little sister, and I don't care. I'll just say it. She went through a really hard breakup over the last year, and the guy's an asshole.
Oh, yeah.
And I hate
Been
him,
there.
so I'll just say it. But I was thinking of her when you were singing the song. I was like, gosh, I want her to hear this. And so, look at her go. It's like, look at her go. She got this. Did you kind of write it to build yourself up after the hard times?
100%. There were many times where I looked in the mirror and, I was thinking about what the guys told me, going through narcissistic abuse and, just a bunch of domestic stuff. And, there's things that I haven't even told my parents who are here tonight. But just kind of, the journey to go through that. And like for any girl who's out there, I promise you're going to make it through it. And that's what the whole song is about. On the other side of the valley, there's always going to be a mountaintop, and you just got to soar after that. So
Here, here.
I'm gonna give you a hug. Hold on a second.
thank you. Thank you.
You are so inspirational, and God, I'm not gonna say which sister, but listen to her. Listen to Chelsea.
I preach the
you
truth.
nailed it. And I think there's a lot of women that
Oh, yeah.
are going through that need to hear your message. I'm gonna say a couple things. Is that song out yet?
It is actually not. It is
It's not out.
unreleased. It's in the process of being recorded and hopefully released very soon. So.
Okay. Couple things. We're having Picker right here. Give them a shout out. They are our only sponsor. We're having a show on the 24th, and it's a song competition. And if you're trying to get your song recorded, they're going to pay for everything. They're going to pay for the producer, the studio, all of it. So I would encourage you to submit for that. Okay. That's the first step. Second step, when it comes out, I'm going to add it to the playlist.
Oh,
okay?
1,000%.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's the second thing. The third thing, I want to have you back, but I want you to sing a song that makes you uncomfortable to sing.
Okay.
I want you to sing a song that you would say, I don't think I should maybe sing this song on this podcast, on this show. I want you to sing that song, and I want you to bring it in, and I want to hear it. You are phenomenal. There's something in you have a presence. There's something in your eye. Do
I
not
definitely
stop.
am not.
You
no
have
matter
something,
where I go.
You have something to offer. You have a story. This is your time to know that you should not give up.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being on the show tonight. Thank you to your parents for coming out. Wait, where'd they drive from real quick? They drove for a long way.
Yeah, they drove all the way from Selmer, Tennessee, which is about a little less than 3 hours away. So,
Wow.
My mom's a school teacher, so she kind of took off tomorrow to support her baby girl. And
Oh, man.
my dad was up at 3 o'clock this morning, so he's a trooper to stay here. So,
Well, screw that guy, and cheers to you. Seriously. Miss Chelsea Rhodes, everybody. It's funny. I just saw it in her eyes. There's that. I feel like the last year I've had that same look in my eyes. It's like, I don't know. I might just give up. I might just quit. I don't know what I'm doing. Why are we doing this? Why are we in this industry that takes so much of your soul? She has something special. I can't wait to hear that song come out of her voice. Really.
Sadly, it's a common question, because it is. It's a thankless place, and it's hard to find inspiration in yourself sometimes, and that's largely where a lot of that has to come from. Certainly, in the building stages, you can't, you don't have a team around you to pump you up, and I can't tell you how many times I've heard that very thing, and what you just did was just amazing and true. I think that finding sources of encouragement and empowerment and letting people know that, hey, you're worth it, you're worthwhile, and it depends on where you want to put your music too. It's like everybody wants to sell stadiums, but really and truly, if you qualitatively how great your music is doesn't really matter. It's finding your audience for your music and building your audience around that, and through that it grows. And
I can tell you right now, there's going to be a girl that hears that song that she just sang tonight that falls in love with Chelsea because of what she had to say. And I think that's, at the end of the day, what you're talking about is getting that song and that story in front of the right audience. Yes. It just was a perfect a perfect storm for Florida Georgia Line to have, a bunch
was.
of slow songs before, and then bam, they hit, and it's just a lot of it is timing, and that's I think
timing.
What's so frustrating about this town is a lot of it is timing, and it's never perfect. It's never your timing. It's always God's timing, but it's always timing.
It's timing and some I won't call it dumb luck. I'll just call it good luck, and just all of these, your hard work. All the things that you've been doing to prepare for it is all kind of the combo package, and when it's there, and I will say about Florida Georgia Line, in their moment of capturing success, they could have been just a ragtag group of people playing the bar circuit, but they were in position to be ready to capitalize on the moment that was presented to them, and that's really the key. I've seen a number of people who had an opportunity come their way, and the bus just left because they weren't there to capitalize on the opportunity, and that's really a key element, is putting your work together and being ready for when that moment arrives.
What you just said is literally the only thing that I've been trying to do over the last year. When you feel like it's slipping away, when you feel like that momentum's gone, you try to wake up every day and just find one thing to do, one thing to just get through that day. Just had my first kid in the last year. His name's Benny, and he's he's been incredible. But it's one of those things where, like, my personal life is like 10 out of 10, and my music career was like 2 out of 10. That's that balance. That's that balance you're talking about. And I want to talk to Dean about this because we talk about this a lot. Doing the little things, going to the gym, keeping your mental health in order, and just finding those little tiny things to keep you going every single day. Yes. You're so good at that. And talk a little bit about what you do each day to kind of get through,
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, and I've never pursued the artist thing, so I basically don't have to deal with nearly as much rejection as the artist side of things. But yeah, I remember like moving to town and like seeing the Nashville skyline and just being so excited to be moving here. And then like 2 years later, I'm broke with 5 roommates, and I'm like, I hate this. Like, this is terrible. And then eventually it was just like, you have to have your priorities in the right place, and you have to take care of yourself too. That, Nashville's a lot of fun, but that can also wear on you and all those kinds of things. And you really have to and you have to take the small victories too. Even like as an artist, like if you could sell 50 tickets in every state to people that are really impacted by your music, you're making the world a better place, and you're more successful than most artists that have ever existed. So it's, kind of just focusing on the little things for yourself too, and keeping yourself healthy and focused. And it's a job, and sometimes jobs suck, and that's the way. But I've had worse jobs too, so.
True words.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about this next guest. When I started this podcast, I reached out to a group called YEP, which is Young Entertainment Professionals. Shout out to them. They got me my first band. They got a lot of the guests that are on here. A lot of people. It's a big community where people reach out and try to help each other. And in a very country town, singer-songwriter town, I had a young man named Malak Osli reach out. And R&B, I'm excited to see what you have to sing for us. But everybody give it up for Malak Osli singing a song, Marry Me.
Let's get it. How y'all doing? Let's get it.
Oh my God, this beat is so generic.
Yeah. I ain't seen you in months, and it's been a long time. Don't mind waiting for you. Miss the things that you do. I want you to be my lady, my baby, my. I want you to be my lady, my baby, my. I feel your healing energy surround me, baby. Your spirit intoxicates me. You be bringing me inner peace. What you do to me, I feel our souls are faded, pretty lady. Girl, what you do to me, I can't contain it. I feel a spiritual connection. Wanna give all my love and affection. And it's times like these, baby, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. Girl, what you do to me, what you do to me, I want you to be my lady, my baby, my, I want you to be my lady, my baby, my. When two bodies connect, it's more than the sex. I'm trying to caress your mind, let your energy flow into mine. When I kiss it, I'm taking my time. I like how your lips pair with the wine. Babe, you know you so sexy and fine. Massaging your scalp while I hear from behind. This the shit that make me wanna have some babies. Baby, what you do? I want you to be my lady, my baby, my. I want you to be my lady, my baby, my. Man, I'm praying for a woman like you. You give me strength when I need it the most. You're the other half I didn't know I was missing. You're my best friend. Nah, you're my lover. I guess the only question left is, will you marry me? Will you marry me? Will you marry me, baby? Yeah. Will you marry me? Will you marry me? Would you? Thank you.
Dude, my first apology is I wish this table wasn't in the way. I feel like you just wanted to.
Oh yeah, I was holding back. I was holding back.
Dude, your stage presence is awesome, man.
Thank you, thank you.
Wow, where are you from?
I'm originally from a small town called Minnehaha, Mississippi, about 5 hours from here.
Wow, that's amazing. When'd you move to Nashville?
I moved to Nashville it's gonna be like 4 years. Yeah, 4 years. I moved here when I was 19. I didn't have a car, so I biked to work 10 miles a day until now I'm here. Like I met my friends I have now. They're out in the crowd, you know, and I'm able to be here. Thank God. You know, it's been a journey, like, you know. So it's been a beautiful journey.
That's
I'm
incredible.
appreciative.
What is that song about? Somebody special or? What's
Yeah,
the
of
story
course.
Of that one?
It's about my beautiful girlfriend over there. Her name's
there we
Liberty.
go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know in today's age of music, like especially like R&B, it's a lot of degrading music, and I wanted to like just show appreciation for my woman and women out there. You know, I have 2 sisters and a mom, and you know, I don't want to put out anything that's negative towards them because eventually, you know, I have kids. I may have a daughter or a son, and I want to make sure they're respectful and treat women well. So yeah, marry me. That's
Love
what's
it,
up.
yeah, man. Well done. A
you.
lot of spirit, a lot of feel in it, and you know, it's really. I will say I'm not familiar with the genre as much, obviously,
Yes, sir.
but it really sounded good, sounded smooth. It's something that you know, I'm with you. I could just listen to
Thank you,
all
thank
day. It was great.
Well,
Thank you.
R&B's, you know, it's baby making music, right? Like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
it's the
sure.
vibe. It's the vibe. Is that song out yet?
Oh yeah, it's out. It's on a project called Hey When You Leave,
Okay.
produced by one of my homies, OK Generic, and Reed Beats. He's out there in the crowd.
Nice.
One of the
What's up?
top producers in Nashville. Shout out Candy Lake and all my friends that came here to see me tonight.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
and yeah, it's a
I
beautiful song.
really, I want a couple things before you leave. I would love to have you on here again, 100%.
Great.
I want to hear you. I want to hear you do something that's a little bit more up tempo next
Okay.
time you come
Oh,
on.
yeah, I got that in the bag for-
Thank you, man, for taking a risk, for coming on a show. You know,
Yeah,
a lot
of
of
course.
writers' rounds in Nashville are typically, like I said, the country thing, and you're like, I want to step out, I want to be different, and I want to encourage anybody that's watching this podcast or wants to be on the show. This is not a country playlist. It's not a country podcast.
Right
It is
on.
a music podcast, and
Yes.
I think good music deserves a platform.
Sure, I
Thank you
appreciate
for being
you.
on here.
Thanks for stepping
Malak
up.
Osli.
Absolutely right. Thank you.
Give it up for him, guys.
Absolutely.
Give it
Thank
up.
you,
Come
thank
on.
you.
A lot of people do
so
forget. Cool. You know, it's like
it's Music City.
It is, and it's more now than ever has been. With all kinds of genres, music types popping out beyond country music, which is, of course, has been beautiful to us. But it's really nice to see that the music scope is broadening in this town.
My first song I was ever on, I used to play basketball with this kid named Addison Hardaway. Shout out to him. I hope he's still making music. I'm not sure. But my first ever song I made in Nashville was a Christian rap song. Not a lot of people know that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, but
I did not know
that. I love all kinds of music. I mean, growing up on the West Coast, that's one of the things I talk about is I grew up listening to, Drake, Kendrick Lamar, freaking Sublime, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like, a lot of the music I listened to was not really country. I grew up listening to country when I was young, but again, it's Music City. There's so many talented artists out here. Come on the show. Come on the show. If you make good music, I want you on the stage. This town needs to be heard no matter what kind of music you are. You want to draw the next name? We got a couple names left.
Why,
I know
sure.
we're going longer than normal, but are you guys having a good time out there? Are you This is one of those podcasts that it's a special one. We're going to have some big celebrities on here. We're going to have some big name people that you're excited to see, but this is my big name. This is at the pinnacle for me to have on this show, and so thank you for saying that you wanted to come on.
I wouldn't miss it. Absolutely.
It doesn't matter who comes on this show after you. It's already been a success after you.
You are nice. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Well, there's a lot of reasons. I know I mentioned the playlisted, name and all the things that are associated with the show, but there was also a moment, and I don't know if you remember this, but I would say it was probably 2019. I wouldn't say I was like Florida Georgia Line, but it was very similar. I had Universal, Sony, Warner, Big Machine, anybody you could think of knocking at my door, wanted me to sign a record deal, and I met with every one of them. I met with every single one of them, and you called me out of the blue one day, and you said, "Don't fucking sign a deal."
I did.
You said, "Do not sign a deal." And I was like, "What? Why? Why not?" You moved to Nashville to sign a record deal. You moved to town to be on Universal. My dream, my artist that I'm the biggest fan of in the world, Garth Brooks, was signed to Capitol. That's my dream. That's always been my dream. And then I have somebody that I look up to a lot saying, "Don't fucking do it." And at the moment, I was so mad at you because I knew you were right. Looking back, I'm so thankful that you had the balls to tell me not to do it, because I, to this day, own my masters, 100% of my masters because of you. I own all my creativity. I'm able to do what I want. I'm able to move. I'm able to make things happen that I want to do because I own myself, and you made that happen for me. And so I am forever indebted to you for giving me that advice.
That was my number one concern for you at the time. And, it's like a lot of people forget or don't think about what it means to sign yourself to a publishing deal or a record label, and you give up your rights to release your music when you want to. You give up your ability to be able to post your social media the way you want to. Your branding is out of your control, and your publishing, your appearances, all of that are utilized on behalf of
your calendar's
other
gone.
entities.
Free time gone, and everything's gone.
And so, I'm not saying it's bad to do. All I'm saying is you really need to be aware of the trade-offs that occur in that situation, and then they'll sign you. You can be signed, and then maybe not. They'll release music on you, and you have nothing to say about how that works. And I think that those are things that people need to be aware of when it comes to music deals and publishing deals. You give up a lot, and if you're looking for a dole, I think that you can work somewhere else, probably for about the same money you could get in a publishing draw,
Sure.
and actually have more time making your music if you did something else. So I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not saying it's bad, it's terrible. It's for a lot of people, but it may or may not be for you, just depending on your individual circumstance.
And I want this show to, as much as it's about the talent, I do want it to be educational. I want people that are listening and that are in the crowd to know that, unfortunately, what's happening right now, too, is there's a lot of people that are making it on their own, that are succeeding on TikTok, on Instagram, and there's poachers out there. The second you get success, the second you have fame, there's people that are ready to say, sign right here, and it's a shit deal. Do not sign the first deal ever. And we're here to tell you, call us. Listen, I'm an open book. You can message me on Instagram. John's a little harder to reach, but I'll give him a call if you need. Seriously, if you have that opportunity, if you have something like that happen, please just reach out to people. There's a lot of people that are willing to tell you. And it might be a great deal. You might sign the best record deal in Nashville, but just get a couple opinions.
And if it makes sense business-wise, great. If it doesn't, I mean, just weigh the pros and cons. That's all. Yeah, that's all I would ask you to do.
Absolutely. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Well, we got Mr. Gatlin Dean Williams up next, singing his song "No More."
People stop telling me I should forget. And I guess they listen to those words for themselves. But it just ain't that easy for me. Especially when I don't know what I believe. And I ain't sure I wanna be saved. 'Cause if I read the Bible and find my revival and change who I am, won't miss you no more. If my hands stop shaking, stop shaking, to lay all my burdens down on the floor. I won't miss you no more. Won't miss you no more. I know that it don't make sense to you. But lately it seems it's all that I can do. To pick myself up every day. Sometimes I hate myself for being this way, and I ain't sure I wanna be saved. 'Cause if I read the Bible, find my revival, change who I am, won't miss you no more. If my hands stop shaking, my heart stops aching, to lay all my burdens down on the floor. I won't miss you no more. I won't miss you no more. Trust me, I realize it's all on me. If I open up, wear my heart on my sleeve, things might get better. Could crawl out this hole. Don't know if I can change, oh, it's all that I know. If I read the Bible and find my revival, change who I am, won't miss you no more. If my head stops shaking and my heart stops aching, lay all my burdens down on the floor. I won't miss you no more. Won't miss you no more.
Mr. Gatlin Dean Williams. All right, so who's that about? I just got to ask.
It's about me. It's kind of my own war with myself, not about anyone in particular.
Wow. Just facing your demons and kind of
Yeah.
dealing with the shit that you deal with. Explain it a little bit.
It was kind of a come to Jesus moment for me, to be honest. It's kind of about wanting to change, knowing that it would be better for you and probably for everybody else, but you're so stuck and comfortable with what the chaos you've made for yourself that you just kind of stay in there.
Laughing with you, brother. It's like been there, done that. I think a lot of us have, and it was very powerfully written. I love your vocal style.
Thank you.
It's unique and different in a good way, and it's recognizable. So it's like if I heard you probably on a playlist somewhere, I'd say I know that voice. I know who that is, and that's really probably one of the biggest mountains anyone can hurdle in terms of being recognizable and standing out in a favorable way. So it's
Thank you very much.
Really like the way you presented it. Thank you.
Absolutely. It's hard for me to remember lyrics, as I'm asked about them. But in the second verse, you said to pick myself back up, and then something about myself again, right? What was that lyric? Do you remember?
It's sometimes I hate myself for being this way is the second line to that. And,
Okay, so you said pick my. It's a weird songwriter thing. I would change it to pick me back up.
Yeah.
To what was the next part?
Sometimes I hate myself for being this way.
To pick me back up. Sometimes I hate myself for being this way. Just to change. There's two myselfs.
Yeah.
Bugged me a little bit. I would just put a me in there.
Fair
because
enough.
it's just an easy fix. I'd do that. But yeah, man, I really felt your lyrics, and you can see it in your eyes. There's something that means something to you about that song.
Yeah. That's kind of why I chose to play that one.
Can you give us a little bit more? Like what really, like what is it about that song that or about you that you love so much about it?
Well, I'm one of the few people that I don't have a sob story or anything. A lot of musicians in Nashville, they have one, and they make that part of the act. Every problem, everything that I've ever faced, I made myself. Nobody else made it for me. I made everything, and every single struggle that I have is my own, and I gave it to myself, and it's because of this kind of hole that I'm stuck in. So.
And the song has universal applications as well. I mean, it can mean something different to whoever happens to be listening to the song, and that's really the nice thing about it.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree, and yeah, man. Well, I'm going to leave this one up to John because he's the playlist king. Would you add this one to the A-list? It's in.
Absolutely.
It's in. You made the A-list, baby. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, Gatlin. By the way, awesome name, Gatlin Dean Williams.
Thank you.
Golly, is that your real name?
No, it's a nickname that my family gave me when I was 15 or 16. It just kind of stuck.
How'd you get that nickname? That's a badass nickname.
I do not remember.
Is it Hank Williams? Is it Gatlin Berg? Is it Dean Purificato? And what's
Is your
there's
first
gotta
name?
be something. There's gotta be.
Is your
some
first
kinda,
name Dean?
No. So
Oh, okay.
my given name is actually Garrett, but I haven't gone by that in almost a decade.
You don't need to
now.
tell him your real name, but
Yeah,
just
yeah.
all right.
So-
What's a little bit?
So Williams came from Hank Williams.
Hell yeah. All right, I was
Hank
right on that.
Senior's my all-time favorite artist, biggest inspiration. I share my birthday with him, so it's
nice.
that one was kind of just given. I still have the same initials, so it's Gatlin Dean Williams. My given name is Garrett Daniel Williamson. So I just kind of kept it and put a
that's cool,
little
man.
fried take on it.
I love that. No, that's amazing. Well, you made the A-list. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank
And,
you.
Congratulations.
I
Great song.
also there's something in your eyes too. I'm going to tell you this because I can see it. Do not give up. Do not stop.
Thank you.
I can tell you're teetering for some reason. I'm not a hit, a future teller. There's something in your eyes that's telling you to stop. Do not fucking stop. You came on the show for a reason. You got this. Gatlin Dean Williams is going to be selling out stadiums one day. Congratulations, brother. Thanks for coming on here.
Thank y'all so much.
Absolutely. It's man, this is why I wanted this show to happen. You see it in their eyes. You see the want and the hunger and the just desire to get their music heard. It's so frustrating right now, John. There's not a John Marks in Nashville that will listen to your music. You have to be it goofer on TikTok. You have to have a sob story like Gatlin said. Does anybody care about the music? Does anybody care about the song? I want that song to be heard.
Well,
he leaned back.
no.
Here we go.
It's.
Can I get another drink, by the way? We're just getting started.
I think he's going to need
Just
another
a
one
whiskey.
after this.
Whiskey with a water,
No,
please.
just kidding. But it's just a different way today that people. When I say people, I mean music decision makers are sorting the thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of releases that come out every week, and when you look at the math of it, it's like 1% of the artists in the streaming world control 90% of the plays, and when you have that kind of math, it's people are going to lean into what's easy in terms of music choices. Of course, they'll have the preferred choices. And then whatever comes about elseways, comes through TikToks or most other entities have their own way of ascertaining their algorithms. And so they look at their own research, they look at external research like TikTok and wherever else they like to see it. And that's how music is being decided today, not just, it's everywhere. And so TikTok and their own algorithms internally at every organization really makes those, I won't say decisions, but they're presented with music that helps to make a decision.
Pay back a draw. You get an artist that I won't name his name, just signed an $8 million, $9 million deal with Universal, and that artist needs to, that label needs to get paid back. So when I see things like Universal striking a deal with Spotify, that scares me, because what that means is that artist that they gave $9 million to needs to be paid back. And it's going to happen one way or another. Either you sell your soul on the road if it's not happening, but they're going to get that money back. It's all a very educated. They're not throwing darts, right? So what scares me as an independent artist is if you have that stuff happening, where do the independent artists land? And I'm gonna say this because I don't want this to scare anybody. I want this to be a time where we can all come together. We are the independent artists. We make the music, we care, and we deserve a platform and a playlist and a spot to have our music heard. Mm-hmm. The way that John Marks listened to my music, we need a spot. And I hope that this show is that, but it doesn't matter. If you're listening, support independent artists. Find music on your own. Don't listen to the discovered playlist that, just given to you. Go do the research. Go down the wormholes. Find those artists that have, 2-3 likes on their page. Follow them, support them. That we can start a movement. We can start a community that really makes some shit happen. And I know it can start right here on the Playlisted podcast.
I think that's it. I mean, it's supporting the independent music and independent artists and seeking them out and supporting them, buying their merch, buying a ticket if they're out and about. And that's really how it needs to work in this lane right now. And
we can get it back. We can get the power back. I know we can. I'm not scared. We've done it before.
Absolutely,
We've done
it can happen again. Absolutely right.
Singing his song "See You Around." Give it up for Jackson Dreyer.
Dishes weren't thrown and doors weren't slammed. I didn't want her to go, but I understand. And I watched her drive away from my house, and the last words she said coming back to me right now. She said, I'll see you around. Ain't that the truth? I see her all over town. She isn't there, but she's taking up a seat on the park bench next to me. I can't shake it. These places are making me see you around. I guess I'll see you around. I've been trying to stay in when the sun goes down, but it's 9:45 and I'm leaving this house. Oh, tonight I wanna open this scar. I know it's bad for my heart, but I'm going out to our favorite bar. 'Cause I wanna see you around. Ain't that the truth? I see her all over town. She isn't there, but she's taking up a seat in the corner next to me. I can't shake it. These places are making me see you around. I guess I'll see you around. Should I see other people or stick with my friends? I don't wanna fight it, don't wanna forget, 'cause this might be something I'll have to accept. No, and I can't help but wonder if she'll find someone new. Can we rediscover the places we went to? 'Cause I wanna believe that she's fighting this too, and wants to see me around. Ain't that the truth? I see her all over town. She isn't there when I'm driving late night streets, but she's riding next to me. I can't shake it. These places can't shake it. These places are making me see you around. I guess I'll see you around. Ain't that the truth? I see her all over town. She isn't there, but she shows up in my dreams and messes with my sleep. I can't shake it. These places are making me see you around. I guess I'll see you around.
Damn.
Thank you.
Just because I looked over at Dean and he was blushing, I'm going to make him
Yeah.
take this to start.
Hey, Dean.
I was like, this is like musically. Jackson and I have actually played gigs together. He's also a very talented hired gun, so kind of does all of it. I was like, we got like a 5-3-4 progression, which is maybe not as typical, John, as you were talking about. And then you went to that other part, and I was like, I have no idea what this is now. I was really proud of myself. And then, yeah, it was amazing. You're great, and that was awesome. And
Thank
so
you, Dean.
A musical journey.
It was a musical journey. The bridge, bro.
Yeah.
That was the part. That was what got me, and just so freaking hooky, so catchy. Like, wow. That was a musical journey.
Thank you.
I felt like I just saw like and you would say you're pop, right? Is that kind of
Pop, soul, R&B.
Soul, R&B.
Definitely
Cool.
a lot of pop, and then a lot of the others. So.
Because I really felt like I just watched like a musical or like a play. Like it just brought out so many different emotions. That was not your average song. Very
And the
well
lyrics too, with like the
Super.
kind of the play on "See You Around." It was
Yeah.
like I want to see you around, and like, which is very Nashville too, which I love when Nashville has the best lyrics in the world, regardless of the genres. So it's really had all of it.
Definitely grew up as a Nashville writer, but not being in country, which is a cool thing that I try to have in my stuff.
Absolutely.
That's what makes it sound so good and fresh. I'm not saying Nashville writers aren't, but it's out of that traditional lane. And the thing that I also enjoyed was the story, and you always brought it back, and you didn't meander, which is a common thing.
Was that a line? Was it Scotch or Scott?
Oh,
it was.
I do like Scotch. I don't think there's a line about Scotch,
It was.
though.
I heard something. It's kind of hard to hear, but there was a lyric about something specific that I don't know.
Yeah, I think that might be the trying to rediscover the bars we went to.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
that's what you were thinking of.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
on that bridge when we were writing it, I wrote with Chace McDaniel, if you know him.
Yeah.
But we were like, what? He was like, what do we do in the bridge? And I was like, what would Usher do? So that's where the progression.
Well, that's
changed
why we
up.
liked it. Yeah,
absolutely.
That makes a lot of sense.
Jackson, phenomenal. I mean, definitely the best guitar player we've had on here, and it vocally everything super fresh, super unique. John was talking about what stands out, what's different. That was so different. Your look, your vibe, everything about you is awesome and different, and 100% adding that to the A-list.
There we go.
Playlist tonight. A lot of ads tonight. A lot of ads. Is that song out?
That song is out. It's on.
Thank God.
It's
I
on my.
asked that first.
It's on my EP called Deep Blue from last May. So right now I'm working on my next record, trying to figure that out. Wearing flower shirts. My mom found me, and hanging out.
Well,
you mentioned the shirts.
Definitely. If there's any other artists out there, please. I know I don't talk enough about it, but Picker is our sponsor here, and we're giving a song away. And if you want your song recorded, come on the 24th. We're going to have some incredible songs that deserve to be recorded. And I know money's tight here in Nashville. It's hard to get a song recorded. We're going to get you a producer, a studio, everything to make that happen. With that said, Jackson, I mean that you're so talented. What's your story? Where are you from originally? I don't know if you told us.
I'm from Chicago, but I moved here about 10 years ago. Was a Belmont boy. Shout out. And John, I actually wanted to mention that when I was at Belmont, I remember hearing about you, and so I've kind of followed along with what you do. Big fan, despite not being in country. So,
thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. My friends are here, and my friend and my girlfriend, and I was like, he's a big tastemaker. Like I've been following him for a while, so it's awesome to have you here. Thanks for doing this.
Good to be here. Thank you. I enjoyed your music. Thank you.
Yeah. So I moved here, was really into Motown, and became a student of 2000s R&B, which is where I try to pull a lot of inspiration from. I'm a band leader. I play horns, arrange horns. My saxophone player's here, so I have a lot of horns on my record a lot of times. And I also, Dean mentioned I'm a hired gun as well. So the big goal is just to be a touring artist myself. So hopefully the next record.
Put that out there. I think you could do it. I think you have a good shot. I didn't think this would happen by having this podcast, but I actually do not want to be an artist anymore. I think I'm gonna retire. The talent is ridiculous. It's so overwhelming. The amount of people that stepped on the stage tonight that are so much better than me.
Really,
it is ridiculous.
It is
Seriously, shout out to everybody that was on this stage tonight. You guys are freaking phenomenal. I am.
Come on now.
Once again, blown away with Nashville. Blown away.
Well,
what do you think? This is your first experience. What do you think?
Yeah, well, it's great because I love unwrapping new music and unfamiliar music, finding new artists. That's what's driven my psyche and my desire for many, many, many years, and it continues today in what I'm doing. And so this is all of the fun for me, and trying to help people find a way to get their music to market, to find a way to build consumption and build exposure. It's really great to be here and be a part of it. Absolutely. Yeah. Small part of it.
Jackson, thank you so much, man. You were phenomenal.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I watched some Kill Tony in preparation for this.
Yeah, well, hey, you have nothing to worry about.
I was ready to get roasted.
We're not going to kill you at all. You killed us. You were phenomenal. Seriously.
Thank you, guys.
Jackson Dreyer, everybody. Give it up.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, Dean goes, I'm definitely listening to that on the way home. Yeah, it's a bit overwhelming. It's sort of the same thing that happens when I feel sorry for myself and walk down Broadway, and you find so many incredibly talented artists, and you're like, why the fuck? How did I get so lucky? How was I working at the Palm and you just happen to hear that song? Like, that's kind of. It is a thing. It is a thing. You feel this like overwhelming, like, why did I get this? They deserve so much more than I've gotten. Really, they're so freaking talented. It's crazy.
I can't really think of many places, that have this depth of talent in all aspects of the music industry, from songwriting to instruments to performance to all of it is really, it's incredible to be here. And I always used to say when I was in radio, the last place I ever want to be is Nashville, Tennessee, because everybody will be pestering me. But it's like the best place to be because the music is right here. And during the time I've lived here, I've been able to hear so much great music, some not so great too, but plenty of great music that I've been able to hear, and it's an honor and a privilege to have been able to be a part of that and continue to be.
100%. Well, this has been an enlightening experience. I want to finish with a question from my dad. He said he has a question that he wants to ask you. How long have you been growing your beard? That's a question from my dad.
I have the exact date, as a matter of fact.
Are you serious?
I do. It was March 13th, 2020. And
that makes sense.
I was getting ready to go to a music festival in England, as a matter of fact. I literally had my bags on the porch. I went to the Moose Club to get my hair knocked back, and I had a little bit of a goatee. And that was the last day that any barber shears have touched this hair and this beard. So there you go. March 13th. How long ago?
Yeah, we're 5 years in.
5 years?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
That's gross.
Well, you sure do look like a music wizard, yes. And you are the music wizard. Yeah. You are the there's a lot of people in this town that people respect, and I would put you at the top for 98% of the people in this town. And if you don't like you, then you're the problem. And I can think of one guy we both can think of that doesn't like you. He doesn't like me either.
A couple. That's okay.
Anyways, we don't have to talk about that.
Whatever you say.
I'm just, I can say it. It's my podcast. I can say whatever I want. Yeah. I love you.
Let him.
Nashville loves you. You are the best. Give it up for John Marks.
Thank you.
Give it up for the podcast, everybody.
Thank you
so much for coming out. The amount of talent tonight was unbelievable.
Thank you. Have me back.